Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting round of the debater. This will be the round of your choice. The two schools that are selected through your votes will battle each other. And the winning school for today will face one of the most competitive schools of the debater, Holy Family Convent, Colombo. We have with us our proposition, deb0408201201 College, Colombo. Representing deb0408201201, we have Sulaiman Rami, Vimukhi Ilham Nizam, Harita Jayasinghe. And our opposition for today is Ramanathan Hindu Ladies College. Representing the opposition, we have with us Rohana Soti Prakashan, Yaturshana Karimoharan, Akshayani Pirbaharan, Abhirami Tevakalan. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic for today is whether or not boycotting the Olympic Games for human rights concerns is justifiable. We also have with us our eminent panel of judges. Dr. Asanta Athanayaka. She is currently an English lecturer in English language at the University of Colombo. We also have with us Mr. Keith Raymond. He is a member of the Executive Committee of the Toastmasters Club of Colombo. We also have with us Ms. Anuradha Hera. She is the director of the Sri Lankan College of Journalism, having received her master's from the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to move into round one. This will be the opening statements for both the proposition and the opposition. Proposition, the floor is now yours.
My name is Sulaiman Rami. I'm a global ambassador for human rights, representing universal human rights. And I am here to fulfill my responsibility of standing up for the protection of human rights worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, learned judges, a very good evening to you all. The topic of debate today is that boycotting Olympics due to human rights concerns, whether it is justifiable or not. And we as side proposition would like to lay out the definitions. We believe that boycotting is to engage in a public refusal and as an expression of disapproval. Furthermore, we understand that Olympics is the modern revival of ancient games held once in 4 years in a selected country. Finally, we understand that justifiable is able to be shown as reasonable or acceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, why do we say so? Argument number one. We believe so because it is the most effective and non-violent tool to pass a message in the world, to bring about change in the human rights violations which currently occurs in the world. Argument number two. We believe so because we understand each and every human being has a moral and human responsibility towards protecting the human rights of fellow human beings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand the context of this debate. We realize that we are talking about a situation where countries have already boycotted the Olympics. We're not talking about whether or not countries are going to boycott the Olympics. Now, first we must clearly realize that the United Nations and the international community have clearly failed their duty in protecting human rights because they have not combated the violations of human rights effectively. Next, we need to clearly understand why is that so. Because we realize there are women all over the world who are deprived of the opportunity to take part in the Olympic Games. Furthermore, we realize that we need to identify the actual perpetrators of the crime, the people who actually commit human rights violations. Now, identifying these facts, we realize that by boycotting the Olympics and using it as a tool, we are clearly going to raise global awareness, which is the core factor of the proposition's argument. Therefore, to basically wrap up, I have laid a strong case for side proposition, and this is why we believe that it is justifiable to boycott the Olympics. Thank you.
Faster, higher, braver is the motto of Olympic Games. Today, we are going to argue on the topic of boycotting Olympic Games due to human rights concerns is not justifiable. I would like to mention what Olympics mean. Olympic Games are an international sports competition which is held every 4 years in different countries. I think this is the best opportunity which is given by God to the athletes to participate internationally. Every country has many problems, but why do we take Olympics as a platform to learn a lesson to other countries? Olympic is also a binding force international understanding and promotes world peace. It teaches people to be tolerant of other culture, religion, and respect them, thereby promotes world peace. I would like to give a simple example. An athlete from Sri Lanka, Susandika Jayasinghe, a very popular runner. How did she stamp a place internationally? We have been given international recognition. This is because of Olympic Games. I don't think countries should boycott the Olympic Games by keeping their athletes from competing. Let them find other ways to express the outrage. I'm certain that all of you present here by now would be convinced that boycotting Olympic Games due to human rights concerns is not proper. So, I would like to conclude that sports itself is a human right, particularly for the youth, since it is vital for their health, well-being, as well as for their progress. Thank you.
I'm Harita Jayasinghe, and I am a global ambassador for human rights. And indeed, we are all global ambassadors for human rights, because as human beings, it is our moral obligation to protect the rights of each and every human being that lives within our country, within our world rather. So we believe that it is our moral obligation to protect their rights. It is our duty to inform the other people, to make the people aware of what is going on in these countries, of genocide and other massacres and other things that are going on in these countries. That is why we believe that the Olympics is the greatest platform to raise awareness, the greatest platform to make sure that the world knows what's going on, because the Olympic is the greatest sporting event in the history of mankind. There are 4.7 billion people watched the Olympics in 2008. That is 70% of the world population. That is what makes it an ideal platform to raise awareness. And also, we believe that the people who play in the Olympics they are global ambassadors. These sportsmen, they are just not sportsmen. They are not athletes who just go and compete in a sporting event. They are ambassadors. They represent their country, and they represent the human rights of the people. And that is why it is their obligation to uphold the human rights. Because these sportsmen, they are looked up to. The captain of the Sri Lankan cricket team, he is very much looked up to. He can influence the people. That is the influence, the impact that we must create upon the people. We must make the people care so that we can create change. And true, the opposition spoke about the athletes' right to play. But what comes first, ladies and gentlemen? The right to live of the people who are being killed in countries such as Syria, or the right of these athletes. That is why we must boycott the Olympics. That is why it is justifiable. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Olympic is a time to bring people of differences together from different countries and continents, race and religion, nationalities and tradition, cultures and communities. Meeting together is a very rare occurrence for some and once-in-a-life experience for many. Therefore, we should not divide nations based upon their stance of human rights concerns. The games which are played and competed by all the athletes all around the world in every 4 years takes up a very high responsibility in serving his or her country. Here, the fundamental right to live and right to play comes in. In order to justify my point, if the Olympics are boycotted by countries, the government is not taking the right step for the good of the people. And by boycotting the Olympics, a problem cannot be solved. It may increase the disagreement between the host country and the boycott country. For example, when Jimmy Carter, the president of USA, boycotted the Moscow Olympics over the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1980, nothing was solved, except to deny their athletes their chance to an Olympic medal. So let the athletes play their game. Don't make them pawns in world politics. There are countries with different political allegiance, sovereign to each state. There are communist countries, socialist countries, and capitalist countries, and so on, with right-wing governments and with left-wing governments. However, in the past, Olympic Games were held in all these countries without bias, regardless of their allegiance to right or to the left. As there is no justification on grounds of human rights, Olympics are not political in nature and should not be used in that way. And Olympics is simply a pure sporting event. Thank you. Both the proposition and the opposition have laid down their arguments. There are 3 more rounds to go. Right now, we'll move into a short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're ready to move into round 2. The excitement and the aggression is yet to come.
Non-violence is the greatest force of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon derived by the man. The topic on hand, boycotting human rights, boycotting Olympic due to human rights issue, is justifiable. The members of the opposing team said, Olympic is a place where you learn lessons. Yeah, that's why we say, here we should teach lessons to the world. We should teach that the world...
Should you teach lessons by depriving the rights of an athlete?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am, haven't you understood? It is teaching lessons not by depriving the athlete's right, but it is the athlete upholding the rights of the citizens of the world, and that is justifiable.
Can you name an athlete who have boycotted Olympic, an individual boycott?
Ma'am, here we are not saying that athletes should boycott the Olympic or the government should boycott Olympic. Here we are saying it is justifiable to boycott Olympic, neither an athlete or a government. So a government boycotting Olympic and makes a big impression on the world. As brought forth from the person who, the second speaker rather, she said that when the US boycotted Olympics, it didn't make an impression, but she has forgotten one thing. It gave a message, a clear message to the world that there are people who will stand against violation, human rights violation.
What happened due to the impression made by that?
Ma'am, you should understand, awareness is the biggest thing which could change the world. We should live by the example which we should want.
What was